Ivorian music industry is in mourning. One of the ambassadors of the Coupe de Calais, DJ Arafat, died from a motorcycle accident on Monday, 12 August 2019 at the age of 33. His death has left thousands of fans into sadness. The United States' move of labeling China as a currency manipulator is completely wrong, and its actions of provoking trade disputes and slapping tariffs around the world will eventually hurt itself, according to experts. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has entered the history of the Premier League and of his club Arsenal. The Gabonese striker, who allowed the Gunners to win 1-0 against Newcastle, is on the right path to reach the records of Thierry Henry and Ian Wright. That's all for our top stories today. Stay tuned for more details in this newscast. Emotions and consternation are the feelings that are currently affecting the moods of Ivorians in particular and of the lovers of Coupe de Calais Downs in general. Death, as usual, struck again where no one was expecting it. DJ Arafat, sometimes called Yoruba, Commander Zebra, and formerly Sautao, the dictator, left the world of the living on August 12, leaving thousands of people into unspeakable grief. His motorcycle hit a car driven by a journalist of Radio Côte d'Ivoire. The star of the Coupe de Calais was quickly taken to hospital and admitted for intensive care, but unfortunately could not make it. The son of Tina Glamour, also known as Tina Spencer, a highly controversial singer of Bete, and Pierre, one of Gero ethnicities, Ange Didier One, was born on 26 January 1986. Because of absentee parents, from the age of 11, he ventured into different fields of all kinds, but was not successful and experienced criticism from all walks of life. His musical career then hit the ground running. Since the release of his first hit in tribute to DJ Jonathan, DJ Arafat became the most popular singer in the country. Each of the single hit records released has since brought the artist to prominence. Throughout his career, there was a change in vocal and music style. It went from the classic Coupe de Calais of the early hours of his musical movement to a more sophisticated Coupe de Calais today. His voice became more rock, the instruments more elaborate and more electronic, mixing sounds with an important role given to the drums. Today we are talking about a kind of African rock and African electro. In 2012, he received 2 awards, Best African Artist of the Year and Best Male Artist of West Africa at the Cora Awards, a coronation that positions him as an ambassador of African music in the world. Father of 4 children, he lived like a shooting star in the style of Zouglou, and at the international level, DJ Arafat was the face of the Coupe de Calais music style. This is a great loss for Ivorian music and a heritage that goes away. The U.S. accusation of China being a currency manipulator is not legitimate, according to a German expert Monday in Berlin. Dr. Kohler, former member of the Parliament of Berlin, said he is following closely the trade friction between China and the United States, and he cannot agree with the U.S. in terms of the currency manipulation.
To my understanding, it's quite difficult to manipulate the exchange rate, as there are so many indications which come together into one exchange rate. So this accusation is just stupid.
Also, an expert on law concerning international trade, Kohler said by accusing other countries at will, the United States is actually lifting a rock only to drop it on its own feet, as the accusation can hardly be accepted or acknowledged by the international community.
You also have to look to your own economy, and that's what the US have to do. There's a German saying, if you point with one finger to somebody, yeah, you have 3 other fingers showing towards your own direction. So this is the same with the US economy, yeah. If they point now to China, they also have 3 fingers pointing to the US economy. And there is the problem, there's the reason for all these problems we are now facing worldwide.
The U.S. Treasury Department on August 5th accused China of being a currency manipulator following the weakening of the Chinese yuan against U.S. dollar. The move has been widely criticized by business insiders from around the globe. The Japanese government has lifted the last obstacle for researchers trying to grow human organs, not only inside animal embryos, but especially to allow these embryos to be brought to term. This is the dream that comes true today. The research work between the University of Tokyo and Stanford, led by Hiromitsu Nakoshi, involved the injection of embryos from rats and mice modified with human stem cells that can be reprogrammed to grow in a pancreas. The embryos will then be transplanted into surrogate animals. The ultimate goal of Professor Nakoshi is to see animals eventually carry human organs that can be transplanted into humans. Recently, Japan required researchers to stop the implantation of animal embryos containing human cells after 14 days and to prohibit these embryos from being placed in the uterus of animals to develop. But the bans have been lifted, allowing researchers to apply for individual permits for research projects. According to Ayako Masawa, Director of Bioethics and Biosafety at the Ministry of Japan, the ministry's authorization requires that Professor Nakoshi's experiments be conducted only on small animals. The ministry's authorization requires that Professor Nakoshi's experiments be conducted only on small animals genetically distant from humans. However, it is not easy to grow human cells in other species. Several scientists denounce the fact that in this species, human cells will be destroyed from the host embryos at the very beginning. Arsenal has made it into the new season thanks to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who started his season as he finished the previous one, scoring goals. The joint top scorer of the English Championship of the 2018 and 2019 season with 22 goals has confirmed his position among the best forwards of the First League. It's simple. After 50 matches in the English Championship since he arrived in the United Kingdom, the striker, trained at the AC Milan, holds the prize for the best players in the history of this championship with 33 goals. After the same number of games played overseas, only Alan Shearer, Andrew Cole, Fernando Torres, Kevin Phillips, and Mohamed Salah scored more goals than Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. If the Pharaoh of Anfield is the only scorer to have done better than the Ghana striker since February 2018 with 36 goals, Aubameyang is on the other hand unbeatable level of efficiency. Since arriving in England, he has converted 25.6% of his attempts. No one has done better during this period among 68 players able to score at least 6 goals in the competition. If Arsenal returns to the Champions League at the end of the season, the Gabonese player will probably not be a stranger. An efficiency capable of quickly allowing him to join certain legends of the London club like Thierry Henry and Ian Wright. But to get there, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang will have to add more trophies to his records. Ivorian music industry is in mourning. One of the ambassadors of the Coupe de Calais, DJ Arafat, died from a motorcycle accident on Monday, 12 August 2019 at the age of 33. His death has left thousands of fans into sadness. The United States' move of labeling China as a currency manipulator is completely wrong, and its actions of provoking trade disputes and slapping tariffs around the world will eventually hurt itself, according to experts. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has entered the history of the Premier League and of his club Arsenal. The Gabonese striker, who allowed the Gunners to win 1-0 against Newcastle, is on the right path to reach the records of Thierry Henry and Ian Wright. That's the end of our newscast of the day, but keep watching Gabon 24 for further news.